Meanwhile, back at the ranch, meet the girls, Pepina and Frederica. Of course, Pepina is the one outside with the white stripe. She's munching at the food bowl that we put out for the feral cats that live with us, share this ground, which is what this video is about. Surprisingly, the cats and the skunk get along. We figure that she lives somewhere around here, probably under the porch. We respect her, she respects us. Notice the tail just went up, that means she's armed. So advise you not to open the door. Now Pepina accepts us, and of course we do her. She watches us from a distance fairly curiously, as we watch her from a distance fairly curiously. She has a right to exist, and so do we. So as Pepina wanders off the porch like we see her doing, slow but sure, methodical, they actually move quite fast, which surprises me sometimes. Anyways, we'll go back to the lawnmower and we'll get into talking about the real reason for this video. The lawnmower is a 25-year-old Honda, still runs like a top, goes with the first pull. It's the best on the environment considering a 4-stroke engine. What we do here is we only cut paths. The paths are intended to allow nature to have its own space while we enjoy some of the space to observe nature. When we first took over the property here, all the lawns and the gardens were manicured, somewhat like what you would see in any suburban environment. So what we decided to do is to return it to its natural state, creating the meadow it was supposed to be, while attracting all the wildlife that exists in that meadow. They have a right to exist, and so do we. That's my partner off in the distance. She's working on a downed tree, the result of a recent thunderstorm. So the esoteric point to this whole video is to practice what we preach, that everything has a right to exist, and we should be able to accept that existence. So by way of example, as somebody jokingly remarked to me, even my driveway has the right to sport a mohawk. It's a little bit of a joke, but I enjoyed it at the time. So the idea that we all fit somehow has to come to the forefront. This is the thing that we have to understand, especially about what's going on in life. Sorry about that, but that's what happens when you're in a lawnmower camp. Whoops, we should watch and not drive over top of the toad. Let the toad pass. Toads are good because they feed on the bugs, keeps the bugs down. So it works out for both of us. They get to eat and we get to be less eaten. A balance, wouldn't you say? Cooperation, wouldn't you say? We must learn to play in all the centers. Nothing is singular, everything is in multiplicity. We have 5 human centers and we must learn to master all of them. In that, we also have to have respect for everything else that exists, at whatever stage of development it might be. We have to protect those species that suffer from our intrusions. So we have to learn how to cross the road, so to speak, see things from the other side. We have to understand the other side as much as we understand our side. This is the game of life. There is always duality in life. There is always 2 opinions, 2 opposing forces, 2 sides. If we consider that the external world is the lower cosmos or life, that's what we're manifesting in right now, there's a purpose for that. And so all we have to do is to get smart with what we're using, get smart with how we treat it. If we abuse the garden, then we're going to suffer in the long term. So the microcosmos, us, has to learn to function in the macrocosmos. Also understand that there is a far greater cosmos above us. And in that cosmos above us, there's regulation. There are laws that govern things. If we don't pay attention to those laws, destroy the garden that we were given, then it's sad to say, things will get a little bit darker, progressively, till eventually the lights will go out. So the trick is to remember, because everything recurs.